In 1992, I was at Cape Kennedy, which is also known as Cape Canaveral, and I watched a space shuttle go up. Had a look at the rocket itself, and it's just a giant firecracker. Really, the technology behind it is really ridiculous. Hydrogen, oxygen, and tanks mixed in this great 5 drums, and they ignite it and off she goes. And very, very powerful. The height of the rocket is about 37 stories. It's quite huge. However, when I talked to the people in Cape Canaveral, or Cape Kennedy, I asked what the time was that they landed on the moon. They didn't know. It's rather appropriate, isn't it? They didn't know. They said that they would send me the information, so I gave them my fax number in Canada. And about 4 weeks later, it came through at 4:17. Now 4:17 is Genesis 4:17. And it talks about Cain building the first city and calling it after his son Enoch. The Great Pyramid base is based on 36524.24 pyramid inches. And of course, Enoch ascended to God without dying at the age of 365 in the Bible. However, the Enoch that they're talking about at 4:17, Genesis 4:17, is the son of Cain, named Enoch. So what they've done when they put the Torah together, they gave a series of similar names to the patriarchs. And you've got a Lamech in there, you've got an Enoch, and a name or 2 names that sound like Methuselah, and so on. So what I'm showing you here is the Kennedy, where the rockets took off from to go to the moon, which didn't happen, of course. It's all bullshit, but you can't go to the moon. A human being cannot go through the Van Allen belt. In fact, Van Allen, who was a physicist before the launch of the space Apollo missions, had identified the Van Allen belt as being about 10,000 miles thick, and it protects the Earth from the radiation of the sun. And as a result of that, if you go through it and get to the other side, you are then baked by the radiation of the sun. You can't live. In fact, I exposed the moon hoax with the 2 astronauts jumping around on the moon surface with their space visors up and looking into the sun, and the sun on the moon surface, because there's no atmosphere or radiation belt, is 40 times brighter, so it would burn your eyes out within a nanosecond. But there they are doing a kangaroo hop, which I thought was rather ironic, since an Australian is going to be Christ and expose it all. So what I'm going to show you now is, we'll zoom out at this position, and I'm going to show you, start again, we're going to do it in metric first. So we go from Kennedy, get right in close on it, and then we go to the moon location, so we see it's 4,500 kilometres. This is calculated at the time they told me, 4:17. Now if you go on the encyclopedia, wiki or something like that, they've increased it by a minute and 4 seconds. Because they knew, as they do with Google Earth, I show you the measurements on Google Earth and so forth, they go and change it. We put 2 videos up about that, or maybe 3 videos, showing how they changed it. So, okay, we go now to the moon location, and then we're going to go to the sun location, Then we're going to go back and see it's 7778, that's the new leg, kilometres. And then we go back to Kennedy. And the total distance is 16,604.3 for the 3 legs, and it's 934.7862 square kilometres in the interior. So we'll zoom out and we'll do it again. Just remember those numbers, and we'll come back in again and show you. So basically we're going from the moon position there, and it's going to go to where are we here? The moon. I'll do it again. We'll go to the sun this time, because I want to give you the distance to the sun. 4325. Then we go back to the moon. Get the right date, I suppose. There you go. Go back to Kennedy. So we got 166604. That's what it looks like, something like that. We go back in. So it's 1660. I'll show you what that is. This is the advent, the coming, second coming. 1660. Wine press. So I've told you before about the age difference between my grandfather and I. Which is the base area of a pyramid on Tahiti, which is 4590 miles to the South Pole, which means Saviour. But in that area of that base pyramid on Tahiti, it is 23229 square feet measured by Cook and wrote down in the ship's log of the Endeavour. The word Endeavour is devour. So everything is based on satanic numbers. So I've got this on a bitmap, which I'll show you. That's the moon position there. That's the revised one on the internet, slightly different. About 15.4 nautical miles difference for the moon location. And this is the sun location, which I've put onto this bitmap here. So you've got your moon location, latitude, longitude, sun location, latitude, longitude, and Kennedy. So the time is 2017 UTC. We've got the distances up here, 1660 and 934. 934 is Kin. That's wine press and the second advent. When we do it in nautical zoom in on that, it's a little bit difficult to see. There it is. So there we got the 1660, 934, which is from the number for king. So we got the coming, second coming, and the wine press. Now, wine press is the difference in age between my grandfather and I. When you do it in years, that's the 23229 days, which is the footprint of the pyramid in Tahiti. That gives us Isaiah 63:6. So you read Isaiah 63:1-6, which I'll do in a moment. Now, what we have up here is the same as this number, but it's nautical miles. So it's just converting that to nautical miles. And it's 896. Do this one first, 1660. Right, Advent second. And we go to 896. 896. Bring the camera down on that. Out of it. And it's Baal. Okay? Baal. Now carry on. We have 896 now in Hebrew. Where did you know it? Babylon. So the ancient mystery religion is Babylon. That's the Talmud. That's the Zionist Jews that dominate the earth today. And of course they control the United States. All your senators are sworn to support Israel. When they become a senator, you've got to sign a paper saying that you will support Israel. And when they did the moonwalk, it was lined up to do, they can't go there as I said, so they put the numbers in, any numbers they like. So they put in the 8960 and the 2722. So that gives you Baal. The area within it, 2772, goes back to 2773. Goes to 2356. And is from 2352 again, which is basically a hole, a cave, a den, a pit, a socket, cavity, etc. So we do the number 2722, this time we do it in Greek. And it's money. Right, the root of all evil. So this is what this gives you. Up the top on this map, this is the official location of the sun on the left there, the moon rather, and the one below it is the sun. On the right is the day and hour they gave me on a fax from Cape Kennedy or Canaveral of the sun position, which I can do with my astronomy program, and the one above it is the moon. So it's this one and this one, and this is the official one on the internet. It's out by a minute and 4 seconds. So you think, well, it's not a lot. Well, it is a lot. It makes all the numbers difference on the surface and the area that we're trying to work out here. Now, you can do all sorts of things with that. Once you know the moon location, the correct one, on the right here, I've got them and I'll show you what they are. This is the details we have to go to make these things work. So there's Kennedy, that's the official location, moon and sun. That's 1969, July 20th. Then we've got the ones that they told me, and there's the 417 there. So we go across, and that's the latitudes and longitudes that we can put into this program here. And you can set this up for any time, thousands of years in the past or in the future. It's called Home Planet. You can download it. I got it working on Windows 7, but apparently it stopped in 2005. Maybe this guy might be old and died, I don't know. But I've been using his software for 20 odd years, since 1992, 1991. So it's going back a long time, which I was able to demonstrate that everything is set up as a trap, you might say. So we can measure from any location to, for example, we can go to the pyramid from there, and it will give us a distance. Now, there's the pyramid. So it's 10,282.7 kilometres. We can change it to miles. We end up at 6390, or we go to nautical mile. Becomes a 5549. So we would just chase those numbers down, or you go to my birth location, for example. It's a distance of 81499. So that's close enough. You check both numbers out, but it'd be 8150 would be the number you check out. But the heading is 105, and that it immediately gives you the address of 105 Rothschild Avenue. So this is how I do things, and I just check out. It takes me hours after hours after hours, but I know that creation has all the numbers in it, and men are stupid, and once the Bible was laid out for them, the 1611 King James Bible, which is a Lucifer Bible, because it's in all churches and it's all in all Freemason lodges, and Albert Pike is laid it all out for you, who was Lucifer at that time. So Lucifer jumps from victim to victim. For example, it'd be in Cornwallis, or it'd be in Washington, or it'd be in whoever's involved. The the man who had arranged to get Charles I beheaded, for example, he'd been Lucifer. That'd be Oliver Cromwell. He introduced the Jews back into England. They'd been kicked out in 1290 by Edward I. Edward I was working for righteousness' sake, and he kicked the Jews out when he discovered usury and the amount of money that they were making and ripping off, lending to the royal family and so forth, for wars or whatever had to be done. And but child sacrifice, that was too much. So in 1290 they was kicked out. So that's why the Jews have been kicked out of 109 nations. Now, they weren't Jews then. The term Jew was introduced, but it is of the tribe of Judah. And the tribe of Judah, when you talk about Bible, tribe of Judah, it is the royal family. It's got nothing to do with a person walking around with black hair and black eyes. So the Jews that I spoke to at the time I walked the earth as Jesus, I was talking to Idumeans that were a half-breed, mixing of races again, that had taken over the temple, put their own priests in from Babylon, and the Essenes, who were the true royal family, had been removed and taken away by Nebuchadnezzar. And he destroyed the Temple of Solomon, and that's why I got Nebuchadnezzar to do it. Because Solomon was a black witch. His mother was an adulteress. His father had killed his wife Bathsheba's husband, and the offspring of that was Solomon. So it's all sin. So I am the root and offspring of Jesse, the father of David. So it's very, very complex thing to do. So we've got a number there, we'll just look it up, 81499, so if we can find it. Hang in there, don't worry, I'll get to it. That's all the programs we've got running, see? Alright, so we have that one camera. So we'll look at number up. So, click back, we see, okay, it's 8149. So, we have to go to Hebrew for that one. 8149. Now, I've never done this before. Doesn't matter what it is, it's what it is. Lebanon, meaning to be pointed. So we're going to a pyramid. It's pointed. So you can associate that. It's a loose association. It's not a confirmed 100%. But what is a confirmed 100%? We go from there, the pyramid, to my birth location, to the pyramid, so it's 7782 nautical miles. (8961), and you read those numbers. So we've got a solar eclipse. This is one of the greatest solar eclipses that you can imagine, because from my birth location you see that it's 888 miles. That's Jesus, right? So you go from the same location and you go to Tugum, wherever the hell that is. Yeah. So we do it in nautical miles. Once the number gets over the concordance numbers, that's 7706, which is Almighty, as in Almighty God. That's to where I'm talking to you from now. If that works. So they've shot themselves in the foot every time they do something, and now they're locked into using the concordance of the Satanic Bible, the Lucifer Bible, read in all Freemasons and in all churches. And this is a James Strong's concordance. So this is the numbers they used. Then I'm born. Too late. They've already trapped themselves. They've already laid everything out to run on the numbers, and that's why they do it. So we'll leave it there. Oh, by the way, found out yesterday that Newt Gingrich, turns out he's in favour of homosexuality, he's in favour in gay marriages, he's in favour of abortion, and he is also, what was he?
NAFTA.
NAFTA, in favour of NAFTA.
He's a globalist.
He's a globalist and a Jesuit. So, if you're watching this, Newt, well, you've just done yourself out of a job, son, because it will be made known that you're off the list for Vice President. I would say, if you want to make a Vice President, you might as well get me to do it.